What is going on, YouTube? Just helping you out here. And for today's video, I will be doing a review on the Nike Roshe 2 Flyknit V2. I know a lot of you have been anticipating this video because it is highly requested, and I am excited to finally bring it to you. I recommend you watch my unboxing video first to get a better understanding of what I am about to discuss in this video. As I mentioned in the unboxing, these are size 11 and they are the black/black anthracite colorway. I've had these for about a year now, and they are worn very often, almost every day. As always, I am going to get started with the sole of the shoe. I tend to put more pressure on the inner sides of my feet so you can see more wear and tear along this edge right here. You can see it up in here, and especially here where I have worn through to the light gray. I don't put much pressure on the middle, so you can still see the inverted dimples and fine circular pattern on these sections. But if you look more into the toe area or the heel, you can see that that pattern is no longer visible. Although that is the case, I haven't noticed any traction issues. That is due to the fact that each of these sections is still raised up enough from the light gray to be able to grip to different terrains. Overall, these soles are very grippy in normal conditions. Now on to some of the cons of the soles. I have had issues with these soles being very squeaky on some types of flooring. It doesn't happen on every floor, but if it does, it can be irritating, especially if there are other people around. The apartment I lived in over the summer had floors that squeaked with these shoes, so it could have been annoying to the people that were trying to sleep or anyone passing by. I saw other people walking on the floor whose shoes did not squeak, so I know it wasn't just the floor. And so, due to these large gaps in between each of these little sections, it is really easy for things to get stuck in there. The biggest two I noticed were gravel and snow. When snow gets in there, it's an issue because when you go back into a building, it melts and makes a mess wherever you walk. The same thing happens with rain, but it is not nearly as bad. In addition, the traction is very bad in the snow, even if it's only a dusting of snow. It gets very slippery. They are still very grippy in just rain though. Now moving up to the midsole, the very fine pattern has worn away below this center line from the shoe rubbing against various things. Above the line, it is mostly still intact. There are also crease marks on the midsole from the pressure of it squishing while walking. You can see them on both the inner and outer sides, but mostly on the inner because for me, I put more pressure on that side when I walk. So you can see right there, there's a huge one and there's a bunch of little ones that are all down here. Not everyone will have this issue, but I sometimes trip because the midsole is very large on this shoe, like it's really thick. And since the material is very grippy, it catches on the ground and I trip. Now moving up to the body of the shoe, this material is a delicate balance between strong and stretchy. What I mean by that is if I stick my hand in, I'm able to move it around quite easily. In addition, I have caught this material on various things and scraped them against multiple things, and I have not had the material rip yet. The increased mobility assists in the comfort of the shoes because your feet are not constricted. Also, the material is still thin enough that if you are outside and there is a breeze, you can feel the breeze go through the shoe to your feet, which feels really nice, especially on a hot day. The reflector and pull tab work well for their intended purpose. Now onto the laces. I have actually had a considerable amount of issues with them. Due to the stretchiness of the shoe, as you walk, the laces are constantly being moved in all sorts of directions, and they come undone quite often. I have tried to tighten them as much as possible, and they will still come undone later. This can be irritating, but it can also be fixed easily by double knotting, which you see right here. Some of you may be thinking double knotting is annoying to undo every time you wear your shoes, and you actually don't need to undo it for these shoes. Since the material is stretchy, it is actually really easy to slip them on without damaging the shoe, and it still feels tightened around your foot as if you untied and retied your laces. Also, this part of the shoe hugs your ankle, which I find very comfortable. Another issue I had is this front pull tab actually came undone. I don't recall it ripping or anything. The stitching just came loose one day and eventually it all worked its way out and it is no longer usable. The pull tab is still intact on the other shoe though, as you can see right here. For me, this isn't a big deal anyways because I just use here and here to put on the shoe, as demonstrated in the clip a minute ago. Now for the insole, you can see the Nike logo has worn away, which is very common on most shoes. The shoes took about a week to break in, and for me, they did feel a little weird until they were broken in. The heel area was a bit narrow, so my foot was rubbing against the sides of the shoe a little bit. It wasn't painful, and it didn't give me any blisters, but it was just a little bit uncomfortable. Once I got used to it, I could no longer notice it. Also, I could feel that size tag right there, which was also a bit uncomfortable, but it can be folded under the insole as it is right now, and it is no longer an issue. Once the shoes were broken in though, the insole is very soft and comfortable, and there's actually a smooth backing on the Achilles area to assist in comfort. So overall, I really like the look of the shoe, and for me, it feels like you are kind of just wearing socks and not shoes, and it feels like you are walking on clouds with every step. There are a lot of positives to wearing a pair of these and not too many negatives. None of the negatives are enough to prevent me from purchasing another pair. I would highly recommend them to another person. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, leave a comment if you have a question or idea for a future video, and lastly, please don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends about my channel so I can grow and help more of you guys out. I'm just helping you out. See you in the next video.